over 3 miles, 3.5 furlongs, and Pragada, the old man of the race, a 10-year-old, jumps the first in the lead, with on the outside just been taken on by him, Sweet Duke and Pragada. Sweet Duke, Pragada, Baydon's right up there too. Shuil, one of the back markers at the moment, with Sweet Glow. Sweet Glow usually in rear at this stage of the race, but comes home very often with a rare rattle. And over the third, Pragada from Sweet Duke, then Aghaidh on the outside of Baydon, being followed by Ketty and Crystal Spirit and Baydon Star and Shuil and Super Sense as they come to the next. Number 4, Pragada, jumps in the lead from Sweet Duke and Ketty and Baydon Star on the outside, with Baydon not far off the pace. Sweet Glow still the back marker, and Pragada the leader from Sweet Duke. Tower and Bridge going up on the outside, then Ketty and Aghaidh, Crystal Spirit, Baydon, Baydon Star just towards the outer. Pragada making it from Sweet Duke, Tower and Bridge on the far side, Aghaidh, Ketty, and over on the far side, on the left as we see them now in the sheepskin noseband, Crystal Spirit. The 5th, Pragada, Sweet Duke, Pragada, Tower and Bridge, and Crystal Spirit. Crystal Spirit getting nearer to the 4 all the time under Jimmy Frost. Pragada though the leader from Sweet Duke, Crystal Spirit, Ketty on the inside, close 4th. Then Tower and Bridge, Baydon Star running sweetly in the centre of the field, Baydon over on the far side, and Chirk Pass not far off the pace. Sweet Glow still a back marker. Pragada over the 6th, I should say. Pragada from Sweet Duke and Crystal Spirit, and Ketty on the far side in Super Sense and Chirk Pass and Baydon Star. Then just in behind Baydon, Baydon with Shuil. Sweet Glow making a little bit of progress now from the rear. Tower and Bridge getting reminders, not looking very keen. Aghaidh also in rear, but Sweet Glow making quite good progress on the bit under Peter Scudamore, but still quite a long way off the lead, which is still held by Pragada, with Sweet Duke second, Crystal Spirit on the outside, Ketty. Then comes Chirk Pass, Super Sense, Baydon Star still going well in the centre of the field. Over the 7th this time, and Shuil on the outside. Sweet Glow made a mistake there and lost a bit of impetus. Tower and Bridge looks as though he's packed in for the afternoon. He's really trailing the field now. Over the 8th, Pragada, Sweet Duke, Chirk Pass on the outside, Crystal Spirit just in behind him, Ketty, and then Baydon Star. Then comes Shuil and Super Sense. Baydon's getting reminders and not making a lot of ground. Sweet Glow is making ground once again as they jump the 9th, and Sweet Glow jumped that well, in fact, but in about 9th place as Pragada leads Sweet Duke, Chirk Pass on the outside, Crystal Spirit, Ketty on the inner, just in behind them Baydon Star. Then comes Super Sense, and then Shuil, who's making ground, the Irish mare, all the time. 3 from home this is, but a long way to run. Pragada from Sweet Duke, Crystal Spirit, Chirk Pass, Ketty, Baydon Star, Shuil, behind them Super Sense, and then Sweet Glow still trying to get into top gear. And they race downhill now with 2 flights left to jump in this Bonusprint stayers hurdle, and Pragada, the old man, still making it, the 10-year-old from Sweet Duke, Crystal Spirit on the inside of Chirk Pass, Baydon Star going well just in behind them, Shuil still making ground on the outside, Sweet Glow trying to get into it, and Ketty holding on to his position, but it's still Pragada the leader. Pragada from Sweet Duke on the far side, with Chirk Pass, then Shuil, then comes Baydon Star and Crystal Spirit on the inside. Racing now towards the home turn, and Pragada still with the advantage from Sweet Duke. Then comes Baydon Star and Shuil. rounding the home turn now, and it's Pragada being pressed by Sweet Duke. Shuil coming there strongly towards the stand side, and on the far side Baydon Star, and here comes Peter Scudamore on Sweet Glow as well. A long run to the final flight. Pragada being pressed by Baydon Star, but here on the near side Shuil. Sweet Glow's not going to get into it. Baydon Star on the far side, Shuil on the near side. Shuil on the near side has taken it up as they race into the closing stages. It's Shuil, the Irish mare from Pragada, and Baydon Star on the far side. Shuil going away under Charlie Swan to make him the Ritz champion leader. His fourth winner of the meeting. Shuil has won it. Pragada is second, and third is Baydon Star. And it's a photo for fourth place between Sweet Glow and Sweet Duke, with Sweet Glow just getting it. But the winner, Shuil, owned by Mrs. Pat Kiley, trained by Pat Kiley in Ireland, and ridden by Charlie Swan. His fourth winner of the meeting. Second was number 5, Pragada, owned by Mrs. Margaret McGlone, trained by Martin Pipe and ridden by Mark Perrott. And third was number 1, Baydon Star, owned by Mrs. Shirley Robbins, trained by David Nicholson and ridden by Richard Dunwoody. A photo for fourth place, with Sweet Glow probably just getting it from Sweet Duke. But this is the winner, Shuil.
It had been a fast gallop, but even so they quickened on this good ground here. Pragada, who Peter Scudamore had rejected, but he did say, I wasn't very happy about doing so, because this is a good old horse, ex-Josh Gifford horse, being challenged there by Sweet Duke, who'd been up with the front for a long time. Look over to the right of the picture in the red colours. Here we've got Peter Scudamore creeping into it on Sweet Glow, but goes nowhere from here. But looking pretty on the inside in the orange is Baydon Star, whereas on the wide outside of this quintet we've got Shuil, who Tommy Stack pinpointed just before the off. 20-to-1 shot then, but I think Tommy's got 25s. He would, wouldn't he? A good jump from 2 of the 3 there. Baydon Star not quite as quick, and at this point you'd have thought Baydon Star, as the angle changes, was going to go ahead, but then you can see nearest to us, hands and heels. Now Charlie Swan just picks his stick up, a little reminder behind the saddle, and comes home. I think Charlie has really shown us what the Irish have said he is all along. We've known he's a good champion, but 4 winners for him. They'll be going mad in Cheltenham. And here, as she comes home, Shuil, the mare, showing that the female sex is every bit as good as the males when it comes to horses. 20-to-1, Shuil, the 4th Irish winner of the meeting so far. So let's have another look and see if we can pick any bones out of this. Bill, at this stage, did you think that the mare was going to win? Because Baydon Star had every chance, and Woody hadn't really gone for him.
No, he'd ridden a beautiful race, produced his top weight just at the right time, but like I said, just that little bit of weight held on too much. The mare on this side, Charlie Swan, came to the last looking very full of running, and he's just kept her going nice. He picks it up and gives her a couple of backhanders in a minute, but only in the backhand position, and just rightly so to keep her going as she's hit the front, and this crowd, this Irish supported crowd, are giving him some kind of raw home. Pragada, what a terrific effort he's made, though. It's about the 3rd time he's been placed or won this race.
What a shame Pragada didn't like jumping fences, because the way he stays and his ability will be very good. That's a good shot of the mare here as she comes home, and of course with the mare Shuil winning the Daily Express Triumph Hurdle, 2 mares in 2 races so far. That should improve the price of females at the sales. But Charlie Swan, well, he's got a long and glittering career ahead of him. He's well bred for the job. He's the son of Captain Swan. And look at this mare. She'll return to the paddocks another day. And with this mare completing a double for Charlie Swan, those who've had him so far, and those 2, 272-to-1, the double. And Chirkpar leading them in there, and behind him, master of the Cotswold, Tim Unwin. Tim, who's been master of the Cotswold for many, many years, really does give them a good lead over the walls of the Cotswold country. You just hear that 4th is number 7, Sweet Duke. Sweet Glow was 5th, so good race, wasn't it, by that little thing after such a testing fall last time. The Shuil comes in. Let's take a check on the SPs.
First, number 12, Shuil, 20-to-1. Second, number 5, Pragada, 9-to-1. And third, number 1, Baydon Star, 3-to-1 favourite.
Shuil now winner of 8 of her 23 races. She's by the Parson out of Shuil by Deep Run. You never keep Deep Run out of these pedigrees, it seems. Came over to be third at Ascot in December. And now returning to the winner's circle at the end of the Bonusprint Stayers Hurdle, which Charlie Swan himself won previously in 1990 on Trapper John. One of 4 winners for Mouse Morris at the Cheltenham Festival. 2.5 lengths and 3 lengths, the official margin. And a reception that tells its own story.
A good habit, Charlie.
Nothing like success at Cheltenham for the Irish, something that's dreamed of throughout the year. After a little spot of rain, the sun shining once again, and a really brilliant afternoon. Charlie posing for the cameras.